Hey, Star Wars buddies. So, as I'm sure you're all aware, Hasbro debuted the Boba Throne prototype, and they say it's about a couple of years away, year and a half maybe, certainly well over a year away. So I decided I'm not going to wait that long, and I'm not going to pay that much. I'll build this thing myself. I'm going to try to do it as cheap as possible. So as you can see, we're just going to start with the most basic shapes. Just going to trace off this template onto these foam boards. Now I grabbed this foam board out of the dumpster, so the price was extremely affordable. So I looked at the prototype Hasbro showed, and I kind of broke it down into 5 elements just to get the rough bones of it. And well, right now I've got the hieroglyphs are traced, but I kind of want to give it the carved look. So I'm just using the blunt back end of that paintbrush just to kind of punch them in there. Make them stand out a little more. So there's the first 2 basic elements. And the third element here. Just a good base. Now we have to build that base up. Just a couple more elements here, and then we can start to fine tune it. Now I wasn't too sure when I thought about doing this. I haven't actually got any experience scratch building dioramas. I watched a ton of videos, but I just never pulled the trigger and tried it on my own. And for some reason I just got consumed by this idea and just thought I'm gonna give it a shot. They make it look easy online, so we'll see how we do. And I think actually too, this might be one of the easier dioramas to build, because it's really, it is kind of simple. You just kind of break it down by piece. They're nothing, the shapes aren't too super complicated, so the old tinfoil trick I saw online, just to weather this stuff up. And it works pretty effectively. Let you throw down a random pattern on it. But I'm going to keep the base clean. I'm not going to put the tinfoil to the base. Just the walls will be roughed. I was making the openings for the stairway. Making sure the dais is going to fit. So now we have to put some stairs into this thing. There's cuts of foam blocks to fit. Not too happy with that top stair on that side though. More about that later. So now I was just trying to figure out how to get the these wooden dowels to line up front to back. So I just figured I'd tape the front and the back together. Punch right through the one. But I didn't want to punch through the front arch, not the whole way. I just wanted to mark where it's going to line up. There you get a rough idea. But I'm actually going to put four posts through. So once I've got the first, or sorry, I'm going to put 8. But I just want to get the first 4 lined up and looking good. And then we'll put the other 4 posts in. Just going to glue this all together with Gorilla Glue. So now we're going to go back at this to line up the other 4 posts. Measure twice, people. I measured wrong the first time. And it just didn't look right, so just had to remeasure there. Same technique, just punching through enough to mark the front arch, not all the way through. And there, we've got 8 post holes. And what I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to give each of these pegs a number, because they are different sizes. So I don't want a skinny one in a fat hole and a fat one in a skinny hole. So and then I'm just pinning this. It's been glued, but I'm pinning it as well. I don't want this base to move at all. I'm just using 2-inch finishing nails. They punch in there easy. I'm just going to install some bracing blocks for that arch. Get a little more support there. Now the block I cut for the top of the left-hand stairs, the shape didn't jibe with the bracing block I put in, so just cutting a new shape. Much better fit. So we'll glue that right in. And we might as well finish off the stair blocks. More Gorilla Glue. I don't know if that's the best product to use or not, fellas. I really don't know. I did consider using caulking, but I just thought it might be too messy, or it might not stick. I didn't know. But I'm pretty sure Gorilla Glue will work. And just a preliminary layout here of what I'm going to do with that back wall. Putting in a couple of more pins just to secure it. That base is solid as a rock now. So all these posts have a home now. Where they are right now is where it's gonna be their final resting place. But I'm having trouble with the depth of them. The distance at the top is not matching the sides. And I really want this thing to square up, so quickly trying to gauge these to depth. I still quite couldn't get the distance to match, so I decided to cut a couple of gauge blocks. So I carefully measured and cut those. And those will just allow me to dial in the distance for all these pegs. It's still not quite there yet. Doing something wrong here. So I'm just going to take the distance off the side. I've made a mark on that masking tape, the exact distance it measures on the sides. We're just going to get that center perfectly distanced. And there it is. Gauge blocks don't lie. So now I know where to cut these. So I've cut all the pegs down. And what these are just wooden knitting needles I got from the secondhand shop. They had a whole sewing section, and they had bags of these wooden darning needles or knitting needles. I thought those will be perfect for this. So there it is, the very basics. And what I want to do now is take this to the next level. So I sure hope you'll join me for that. We're going to bring this thing to life. We're going to detail it till the cows come home. And try to make it look as realistic as possible. Hey, thanks for joining me, guys, if you made it this far. And part 2 is coming very soon. See you next time.